My child, listen to me. Do not scroll past this moment. Do not let distraction steal what I am about to speak. You have waited too long, prayed too deeply, and endured too much silence to turn away now. I am calling you by name, right here, right now, because the silence you have been living in is breaking. The quiet that confused you is ending. The waiting and stress your faith is reaching its turning point. The silence is over, and I finally have the answer you've been asking me for. I know how heavy the quiet has felt. I know how many times you checked for a sign and heard nothing. I know the ache of unanswered prayers sitting in your chest, the questions you were afraid to say out loud. You wondered if I was still listening, if I had forgotten you, if your voice even reached heaven and more. My child, look at me. The silence was never rejection. It was never distance. It was never my absence. It was the space I was using to prepare what words alone could not explain. This message is not random. You didn't stumble into it by accident. I have been timing this moment with precision, because if I spoke too soon, it would have confused you. If I answered before you were ready, you would have misread my heart. But now, your spirit is positioned to hear me clearly. And now, you are strong enough to receive the truth without fear. Now, the answer will bring peace instead of pressure. I need you to stay with me. Don't skip ahead. Don't half listen. What I am revealing will shift how you understand the season you've been in. And as you stay, respond. Let your response be faith in action. Like this message as a declaration that you are ready to hear me. Comment if you know this silence has been real in your life. Share this with 3 people who are still wondering if I've gone quiet on them. Like this video and subscribe, not for a channel, but because you are choosing to spread my voice where others need hope. My child, there were moments you felt exposed in the silence, as if everything else was moving while you were standing still. But I was not idle. I was aligning what you could not see. I was closing doors you would have walked through too soon. I was shaping your heart so the answer wouldn't crush you, but carry you. The silence was not empty. It was full of intention. Hear me clearly now. I do not delay without purpose. I do not withhold without reason. And I do not forget the ones who wait on me. If you are hearing this, it means the season of guessing is ending. The season of clarity is beginning. I am about to speak in a way you cannot miss. Zay, listen. Brian, the silence is over. My child, I see you. I need you to hear that before anything else settles in your heart. I saw you when you stayed strong in front of others but felt empty when you were alone. I saw you when you prayed with faith one day and questioned everything the next. I saw the nights when you replayed the same questions in your mind, wondering why clarity felt so close yet so far away. You were never invisible to me. Not for one moment. I know how long this season has lasted. Longer than you expected. Longer than you planned for. You told yourself it would only be temporary, that answers would come quickly, but time stretched on. And with every passing moment, the silence felt louder. You smiled when others spoke about breakthroughs, but inside you wondered when it would finally be your turn. I saw that conflict. I saw the strength it took to keep believing when nothing around you was changing. There were moments you felt overlooked, like I was answering everyone else, but you. You questioned whether you had done something wrong, whether you missed a step, whether you were no longer chosen. My child, let me correct that lie gently. You were not overlooked. You were being handled with care. What I was working on required precision, not speed. And because I love you deeply, I refused to rush what would define your next chapter. I recognize the weight you've been carrying, the responsibility you held without guidance, the decisions you delayed because you didn't want to move without my voice. You stayed still when it would have been easier to run ahead. That restraint mattered. That obedience mattered. Even when no one applauded it. Even when it felt lonely. I was with you in every quiet moment, strengthening you in ways you didn't yet understand. You didn't imagine the struggle. It was real. The doubt was real. The exhaustion was real. But so was my presence. I was listening when you whispered prayers you thought were too small to matter. I was near when your faith felt thin and fragile. I never asked you to pretend you were strong. I only asked you to stay. And you did. My child, I know your heart. I know you weren't just waiting for an answer. You were waiting for reassurance that I still cared. Let me say it plainly now. I care deeply. I am involved intimately. I have not changed my mind about you. I have not changed my plans for you. The silence never meant distance. It meant attention, focus, and beverine. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified because of your questions or your weariness. You are still chosen, still seen, still held. Everything you've carried quietly has been known by me. And because I recognize your endurance, I am now inviting you to understand it. What you've been walking through was not random. And what comes next will make the silence make sense. My child, now I will tell you the truth you've been waiting for. The silence was not a sign of my disinterest. It was not punishment. It was not rejection. The silence was strategy. It was protection wrapped in patience. It was me holding back words because timing matters just as much as truth. An answer given too early can confuse you. Direction revealed too soon can overwhelm you. I was not withholding love from you. I was guarding your future. You thought silence meant nothing was happening, but I was working where you could not see. I was rearranging circumstances. I was softening hearts. I was closing paths that looked right but would have led you into unnecessary pain. I was also strengthening you internally, because the answer you were asking for required a stronger version of you to carry it well. Had I spoken sooner, it would have shaken you. Now it will steady you. Hear me clearly. Silence from me does not mean absence. It often means intimacy. When I am quiet, I am close. I am watching how you trust without explanation. I am teaching you to walk by faith, not by constant confirmation. Many misunderstand my silence and walk away too early. You stayed, and that matters more than you realize. You asked for clarity, but what you truly needed first was alignment. You wanted instructions, but I was shaping your discernment. You wanted answers for the future, but I was healing parts of your heart that would have misinterpreted those answers. The silence slowed you down so you wouldn't outrun my will. It kept you from settling for something good when I was preparing something right. My child, silence does not mean no. And it does not always mean wait forever. Often, it means I am preparing you to receive this without fear, pride, or confusion. Now that preparation is reaching completion, now your heart is steadier. Your faith is deeper. Your trust is quieter but stronger. That is why I can speak now. And here is the truth you must hold on to. I have never ignored you. Every prayer was heard. Every tear was counted. Every moment of waiting was recorded. The silence was not the end of the conversation. It was a pause before revelation. And as my answer begins to unfold, I want you to understand something else. What I am doing through this message is bigger than just you. This is where I speak directly to those whose hearts feel stirred to help my voice reach further. My child, when you give to this mission, you are sowing into souls that are still sitting in silence, wondering if I hear them. I say to you now, as my word lives and breathes, those who sow generously will reap in due season, and I am speaking that over you personally. If you feel my nudge, this is your moment to act. Support through super thanks or membership on this platform, or give through PayPal. The links are waiting for you in the description and in the QR code on this video. As you release what is in your hand, I will release light where darkness still lingers. Do it now. I will bless your obedience. My child, because I love you, I need to gently correct what has been forming in your heart. During the silence, you began to measure my care by how quickly I responded. You started interpreting delay as denial and quietness as distance. I understand why. You are human. You feel deeply. But let me lead you back to truth with tenderness, not shame. You were tempted to rush me, to push for answers before the season was complete. At times, you tried to force clarity through overthinking, through anxiety, through asking the same question again and again in different ways. That was not faith. That was fear wearing the mask of urgency. And I say this not to condemn you, but to free you. Fear makes you hurry. Love teaches you to trust. There were moments you wanted me to speak loudly so you wouldn't have to rely on discernment. You wanted signs instead of surrender. You wanted certainty instead of dependence. But my desire was not just to give you an answer. My desire was to shape your relationship with me. I am not a voice you consult only in crisis. I am a father who walks with you in every step, even the quiet ones. I need you to release the belief that silence means something is wrong with you. You questioned your worth. You replayed old mistakes. You wondered if you had fallen out of favor. My child, that was never true. It comes from love. And love was guiding you the entire time. Do not rush what requires reverence. Do not force what needs faith. When you hurry my process, you risk carrying answers without the wisdom to apply them. When you demand clarity on your timeline, you place pressure on yourself that I never intended you to bear. I was teaching you to rest while I work, to trust even when you cannot trace my hand. Let me correct another misunderstanding. Waiting is not weakness. Stillness is not failure. Obedience in silence is strength. You did not fall behind because you paused. You were protected. You were being refined. You were learning to hear me not only in noise but in peace. My child, I do not lead with confusion. I lead with order. If I delayed speaking, it was because I was aligning multiple things at once. Some answers require movement in places you cannot reach. Some breakthroughs require changes in other people's hearts. Some doors cannot open until others are fully closed. I see the full picture. You see only the moment. That is why trust matters. I am not asking you to stop desiring answers. I am asking you to stop doubting my heart. Let go of impatience. Lay down the need to control outcomes. Release the habit of interpreting silence through anxiety. Come back to the truth that I am good, I am present, and I am intentional. Correction from me is always an invitation. An invitation to see clearly. An invitation to rest deeply. An invitation to walk forward without fear. And now that your heart is aligning with mine, you are ready for what comes next. My child, lift your head now. I want you to feel the strength returning to your spirit. You did not wait in vain. Not one moment of obedience was wasted. Not one tear fell without purpose. The season that tried to drain you was also the season that quietly fortified you. You are not the same person who first entered this silence. You are stronger, wiser, steadier, even if you don't fully recognize it yet. I know there were days you felt tired in your soul, days when hope felt fragile and faith felt like effort. Yet you kept going. You kept choosing to believe even when your emotions begged you to quit. That endurance did something powerful inside you. It built roots. Roots that can now support what I am about to release. If I had answered you earlier, the weight of it might have shaken you. Now, you can carry it without losing your peace. My child, you were growing in ways that could not be measured by visible progress. While you were waiting, your discernment sharpened. Your dependence on me deepened. You learned how to sit with me without constant reassurance. That intimacy is a strength many never develop because they leave too soon. You stayed. And because you stayed, you are prepared. I want you to stop looking back at the silence with regret. Stop thinking, if only it had happened sooner. The timing was not against you. It was for you. You are arriving at this moment with a maturity you didn't have before. With humility instead of entitlement. With gratitude instead of impatience. That posture matters more than you know. You may not feel powerful right now, but strength is not always loud. Sometimes strength is calm. Sometimes it is quiet confidence. Sometimes it is simply the ability to breathe again without panic. That is the kind of strength I have been restoring in you. The kind that doesn't crumble under pressure. The kind that trusts me even when outcomes are still unfolding. My child, I need you to hear this clearly. You are not behind. You are not late. You have not missed your moment. The path ahead is opening at the exact pace required to protect you and bless you. What I am leading you into will require the version of you that exists now, not the one you were before the silence. Let hope rise again, gently, without forcing it. You don't need to hype yourself up or pretend everything is perfect. Simply allow yourself to believe that I am still good, still faithful, still guiding you forward. You don't have to carry the weight of figuring everything out. That was never your role. Your role is to trust. Mine is to lead. Take strength from this truth. You endured. You learned. You were refined. And now, you are standing at the edge of clarity with a heart that can receive it without fear. I am with you. I always have been. And I am not finished with you yet. My child, now listen closely, because I am speaking promise over you. Not big hope, not empty comfort. A living assurance that stands firm even when circumstances are still catching up. I am not late. I am not uncertain. I am not changing my mind. What I have spoken over your life is moving forward, even if the steps are unfolding quietly. I promised that I would never leave you, and I have kept that promise. I promised that I would guide you in truth, and I am doing that now. I promise that those who trust me will not be put to shame, and that includes you. The silence did not cancel my word. It protected it. What I plant, I also preserve. You are standing in a transition, whether you feel it or not. One foot still remembers the waiting, but the other is stepping into understanding. This is where trust matters most. Not when everything is loud and obvious, but when peace is arriving before full explanation. I am teaching you that assurance does not always come with details. Sometimes it comes with calm. My child, my promises are not fragile. They do not break under delay. They do not expire because of time. If I said it, I will fulfill it. But I do so in a way that keeps your heart whole. I care about who you become just as much as what you receive. That is why I move with intention, not impulse. I know you want certainty about what happens next. I know you want to see the full picture. But I am asking you to trust me one step at a time. Obedience in small moments is how great promises unfold. You don't need to run ahead. You don't need to force doors. When it is time, what is meant for you will open without struggle. Hear this assurance deeply. You are not walking into confusion. You are walking into clarity. You are not stepping into chaos. You are stepping into alignment. Even if the path feels unfamiliar, it is covered by my hand. I go before you. I steady you beside me, and I watch over you from behind. You are surrounded. My child, patience is not passive. It is active trust. It is choosing to believe me when you cannot yet see the outcome. And that trust honors me. I respond to it. I reward it. Not always in the way you expect, but always in the way that brings life. What I have prepared for you will not require you to betray your peace. It will not demand that you abandon your values. It will not pull you away from me. My promises draw you closer, not further. If something tries to rush you, pressure you, or fill you with fear, that is not from me. My assurance brings steadiness. Rest in this truth now. I am faithful. I am intentional. I am present. The answer is unfolding, and my promise is holding you through every step. Trust me a little deeper. The way forward is already covered. My child, now that you have heard me, this is the moment where listening turns into living. Truth is not meant to sit quietly in your heart without response. What I reveal requires movement, not rushing but faithful steps. I am calling you out of passive waiting and into active trust. This is where your faith becomes visible, not to impress anyone, but to align with me. You have spent enough time replaying what could go wrong. Now I am inviting you to consider what could go right when you walk with me fully. Release the habit of bracing for disappointment. The posture was built in the silence, but it no longer serves you. I am not leading you forward to harm you. I am leading you forward to grow you. This activation is not about doing something dramatic. It is about surrender. Surrendering control. Surrendering timelines. Surrendering the need to understand everything before you obey. Faith does not wait for perfect clarity. Faith moves when my voice is enough. And right now my voice is speaking peace, direction, and assurance into your spirit. My child, I am asking you to pray differently now. Not desperate prayers driven by fear, but confident prayers rooted in trust. Pray with expectation, not anxiety. Speak to me knowing that I am listening, knowing that I am responding, even if the response unfolds step by step. Prayer is not how you force my hand. It is how you align your heart. There is something I want you to let go of in this moment. That constant need to check if you're doing enough. You don't earn my guidance through exhaustion. You receive it through obedience. Do what I have already placed in front of you. Make the call. Take the step. Rest when I tell you to rest. Move when I tell you to move. You don't need the entire map. You only need the next instruction. I know stepping forward feels vulnerable. You've been protected by stillness for a long time. Movement feels risky. But faith was never meant to be lived in hiding. I am with you as you step. I steady you when your confidence wavers. I do not expect perfection. I expect willingness. Let your heart say yes, even if your mind still has questions. Let trust speak louder than fear. Let obedience be your answer to the silence that once confused you. This is not the moment to shrink back. This is the moment to lean in. My child, I am activating courage in you. Not loud courage, not reckless courage, but quiet, steady resolve. The kind that chooses me daily. The kind that keeps moving even when emotions fluctuate. The kind that knows who walks beside you. Take this moment seriously. Not with pressure, but with reverence. What you do next matters. Not because I will abandon you if you hesitate, but because obedience opens doors that waiting alone cannot. I am ready to lead you. I am ready to guide you. I am ready to show you more. Now step with me. Trust me. Activate your faith. The silence is no longer holding you back. It is releasing you forward. My child, come and rest here with me. You have walked through waiting, through questions, through silence that felt heavy at times. Now I want you to breathe and let peace settle into your spirit. The silence that once unsettled you no longer has power over you. It has served its purpose. What once felt confusing is now becoming clear. What once felt empty is now filled with understanding. You are safe here with me. Remember what I have spoken to you. You were never forgotten. You were never delayed by accident. Every quiet moment carried intention. Every unanswered prayer was held, not dismissed. The silence was not the end of the story. It was the place where your faith was refined, where your heart was steadied, where your trust learned to stand without constant reassurance. And now, you step forward with peace instead of panic. I want you to move into what comes next without fear. Do not rush. Do not strain. Walk gently, knowing I am guiding you. You do not have to figure everything out tonight. You only need to trust that I am already ahead of you. The answer you've been waiting for is not meant to overwhelm you. It is meant to anchor you. Let it do its work quietly inside your heart. If this message has reached you, let it also flow through you. Like this video as a sign that you receive my peace. Comment to declare that the waiting season did not break you. Share this with 3 people who are still questioning the silence in their lives. Subscribe and hype this message, because when my voice spreads, hope spreads with it. You are not just receiving comfort, you are helping carry it to others. And now, hear me as I speak to those whose hearts are stirred to act. My child, when you support this work, you are not giving to a platform. You are releasing light into places where silence still feels heavy. I say to you, as you sow into my work, I will cause rivers to flow where there was drought. This is my invitation to you. If you feel my prompting, respond now. Support through Super Thanks or membership here, or give through PayPal using the link in the description or the QR code on the screen. This is not a suggestion. It is an act of obedience. As you give, I bless you. As you release, I replenish. As you sow, I multiply. My child, do not carry tomorrow's weight into tonight. You are allowed to rest. You are allowed to trust me without overthinking. Peace is not something you earn. It is something I give freely. Let it cover you now. The silence is over. The answer has begun to unfold. And I am still with you, guiding you forward with love, clarity, and peace.